As a UK property investor, you must have this, and it will avoid costly renovation mistakes later on down the line. Hey there, fellow property investors, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome to the crazy and sometimes rewarding world of property investing, which can sometimes, if you're in my case, be extremely stressful. But I will go into where I've been in a whole Q&A session in another video, so stay tuned for that. I've been in construction for 20 plus years now, and over the last 3 years I have been personally going out there and doing the property investing for myself. I can tell you from all of that experience that I've had, this particular thing is sometimes overlooked and not particularly thought about that well, especially if you are going to be doing a massive renovation on a property that you've just invested in. But bear with me and I'll tell you, it's actually so important. To be honest with you, it's actually a byproduct of the service that you're actually getting, and what I'm talking about today is actually having architectural plans. You might be thinking, well, Sabrina, do I really need architectural plans? Or, you know, I just need plans just to get it through planning. I just need plans for this, and the other. But the emphasis is, it's not the plans that you're actually paying for. The plans are a byproduct of what the architectural designer or the architect is going to do for you. What you're actually paying for is however many years of experience that they're putting into just giving you an end product of the architectural plans. But you're actually paying for the actual service, the time, the expertise, and everything like that that comes with the X amount of years that some professionals put into their architectural plans. That's what you're actually pouring into. And you might say to me, well, Sabrina, do I really need architectural plans? Do I really need an architectural designer or an architect on my smaller renovation project? And the answer is yes. And it'll be for reasons that you might not have thought about before, but we'll go into that later on in the video. When it comes to property investing and renovating and everything that comes with it, having a solid architectural plan is crucial. Not only does it help you as a property investor, especially if you are just starting out, to visualize the space that you're actually going to renovate or invest in, but it will also save you absolute thousands in the long run. In fact, I would go as far to say is that an essential tool, an essential thing to have for any property investor. And again, we'll come back to this point a bit later on in the video. Number one is that it helps prevent or reduce or mitigate against scope creep. Picture this, you're in the middle of maybe your first renovation or just in the middle of a renovation in general. You've got all of your tradespeople all lined up, you've got your budget set, and then you suddenly think, you know, maybe if I knock through a small opening on this wall, it's going to make this space look a lot bigger. Hell, let me just get rid of the wall completely and have a completely open plan kitchen. So you go ahead, you do that. These kind of small changes are called scope creep. So you make that little change, and because you've made that change, you might have accidentally, I don't know, you might have knocked through a structural wall, for example, and this is all hypothetical, guys, stay with me. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's an associated cost for every small change that you make, and if you don't sit down and plan it before you go ahead and do that, then all of a sudden your scope will start to creep. There'll be more works involved, which means more money, more time spent on the project, and overall, and it will just turn into this cycle where, or this snowball effect, where it's just going to end up costing you more money, more time, more labor, and everything that goes into that. Because one small unplanned change might have a wider, more knock-on effect on everything else that you do. So if you do take down that wall and you've not assessed the structural issues behind that and thought, right, if I do want to take this wall down, is it a load-bearing wall? Let's check. It is a load-bearing wall, right? So if I do take that down, then that's going to cost me extra money on maybe getting the engineer to redesign the works, or maybe even a structural issue. I'm going to have to spend more money on supporting that part of the building, so on and so forth, and therefore it gets bigger and bigger. But if you sit down and you plan that and you look at that before you make the change and actually take a sledgehammer to that wall, then you'll understand and you'll know, and you'll to make a more of an informed decision as to whether that change is worth that extra risk, that extra cost, that extra time, or whether it's not. I think you'll probably remember in one of my playlists on one of my earlier projects, I very stupidly, even though I know what I do know and how long I've been in the industry, I made a silly mistake where I just off a whim started doing some works to a chimney, which actually cost me more money in the long run because I wanted to remove it. And it's changes like this which are going to have a knock-on effect on your project and cost you a lot more money. And that's in one of my other playlists. And by the way, as I said before, my name's Sabrina. I am documenting the whole of my property journey here on YouTube. So if you like the content so far, please subscribe, like and comment down below. Thank you so much, because that will just help push out my videos to more people in case they are in the same position as me or they're wanting a little bit more guidance on their property investment journey. So with a proper architectural plan in place, you can actually look at any changes that you want to make, discuss them with either your architect or your architectural designer, who will then go to maybe your structural engineer. There's a whole collective, cohesive, kind of collaborative approach to that work. And then, as I said, you can get all the options and be able to make an informed decision on whether to progress with that change or not. So you're actually controlling and preventing that scope creep. The next point is that it helps you clearly communicate with your tradespeople and any of the consultants that you do have on the project exactly what your expectations are. It helps you to manage expectations from your end as a client and from the other end as a tradesperson, so everybody's singing off the same hymn sheet. So yes, let's talk about tradespeople, your unsung heroes who are helping to bring your vision to life. As I said, these tradespeople, they are not mind readers. I've learned over time that my little tweak could be somebody else's rework or redesign. The architectural plans aren't just a sketch. They're not just sort of a tick exercise that you can just tick off. They are literally your language that you will use to speak to all of your tradespeople so that everybody is on the same wavelength as you. Everyone knows what's expected of them. It's like a language that you speak to your builders, your contractors and all your labourers, kind of tells them exactly what you want. So it takes your vision from your head, out of your head, and then passes that on to your tradesperson so that you know exactly what is actually possible and what you can actually build or renovate and what you can do with the space. They are literally there to avoid any wild interpretations of your vision. The more specific your plans are, the less types of conversations that needed to be had. You know, those really awkward conversations of, oh, I thought you wanted it to go here. Oh, I didn't realise that was meant to go over there. Yeah, it just avoids all of that completely, which can literally be a costly mistake. And talking of costs and finances, I literally use Unbiased quite a lot. That they are literally like a matchmaking service for your finances. So if you're thinking about getting into investments but you're not too sure how you stand financially, if you go onto the Unbiased website, they can literally match you up with a financial advisor or a mortgage broker or somebody just to help you understand your finances and where you are and what kind of options you have available to you so that you can just proceed without any hiccups. And if you use my link in the description box below, you'll get your first consultation for free, and that's Unbiased. And I do make a little commission from everyone who signs up, so thank you in advance. My mortgage broker, who I personally use, her details are also in the description box below if you want to check her out too. Moving back to this point as well, it's so important to make sure that everybody is aware of what's expected from them. If not, if there are any disputes, that is when these architectural plans will come in clutch for you, because they will be an important document that you can actually submit in court and prove as evidence to say this is what I actually wanted, if things did get messy and it did actually get to that point. So your architectural plans are really, really important, especially if you're doing a massive renovation. As discussed earlier on in the video, this point, as I said, is a massively important point as well. Having the right architectural plan will provide you evidence that you are meeting regulations and statutory requirements. This is a big one. Architectural plans are needed just to prove and to show as evidence that you are complying with any planning regulations, that you're complying with building control and all things like that as well. So it's really important that you do have the plans if you're doing a massive renovation, or you at least speak to somebody with that same background so that you can get some information from them. Obviously, I do offer architectural services within my company, and again, my details are down in the description box below if you do want to discuss this at all. So again, from previous points, it just makes sure that everybody is singing off the same hymn sheet, the local authority is all on board, and they know that the renovations or anything that you do make to this building one, complies with all the planning, and two, that it's safe, the actual building won't collapse in on itself. I'm being dramatic here. Just to make sure that all the safety regulations, you are adhering to that. You need to have that so that it's all planned out up front on a drawing, so that again you can submit that for planning, and you can also submit that to the local building builder control authority as well. And guys, here is my next point. Here's a little secret. Like I said before, you are not just paying for paper drawings. You are literally paying for people's years and years of experience. It's not just a drawing, guys. You are paying for the whole service, the whole project management, everything else that comes with it as well. The drawings are literally a byproduct, and that is how you should think of them. They're almost a byproduct of having that architectural service, and having that service that can hold your hand from the beginning of the project all the way through to the end. If you are not that experienced in that side, or even if you are, it's just having that reassurance from that professional. Basically paying for that person's years and years of experience, personal experience, any sort of specialisms within that, and their deep understanding of how to put buildings together. I mean, if you actually think about it, these plans they're more than just a few lines on a piece of paper with a few words to them. Every single measurement and every line and every drawing, every single mark on these drawings are put there for a reason. They have been crafted from years and years of somebody else's personal experience. So yes, you are paying for this person's years and years of experience, their ability to keep you out of those, oops, did we have plans for that situation, to a low. So if you're a new investor, or even an investor in general, I know it's tempting to cut corners, especially when you're just starting out, but detailed architectural drawings aren't just pretty pictures. It's about protecting your investment and keeping things clear, keeping things legal, and keeping everyone on the same page. So guys, what's the takeaway from this? Basically, it's essential for you to have architectural plans as a new or as any investor. It's not just a nice to have, it's a must have. And by taking the time to create a detailed plan, you're basically mitigating or almost avoiding any unexpected expense, staying on schedule, basically just increasing the value of your property, putting more of your money into the actual renovation and planning things through carefully. Thanks for watching, guys. Put any of your comments about architectural plans in the description box below, and let's have a conversation down there. And thank you for bearing with me. As I said, I am back now. Q&A session is coming soon on where I've been and everything like that. And if you're wondering about mitigating against risks and things like that, then watch this video on playlist next. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.